Is life worth living? That's not just a passing thought. According to the philosopher Albert Camus, it's the only truly serious philosophical question. In his 1942 essay, The Myth of Sisyphus, Camus dives headfirst into this challenge, introducing his concept of the absurd. So what is the absurd? Imagine two things that can never connect. On one hand, you have us, human beings, desperately searching for meaning, order, and a clear purpose in life. On the other hand, you have the universe, silent, chaotic, and completely indifferent to our desires. The absurd, Camus says, is the clash, the permanent gap between our need for meaning and the world's refusal to provide it. It's not in us, and it's not in the world, it's in the space between them. When we truly realize this, it can feel like the ground has disappeared from under our feet. If life has no inherent meaning, why continue? This is where Camus confronts the idea of suicide. But he rejects it, calling it an escape, a surrender to the absurd. He also rejects what he calls philosophical suicide, leaping into faith or a rigid ideology that pretends to have all the answers. That too is just another way of running away. So what's the alternative? Camus proposes we don't run at all. Instead, we should face the absurd and live in defiance of it. He offers three responses: revolt, freedom, and passion. Revolt isn't about picking up a weapon. It's a mental and spiritual rebellion. It's the constant, conscious decision to live, despite the lack of meaning, to say no to despair every single day. Freedom comes next. Once we accept there's no grand cosmic plan or divine rulebook, we become truly free. We are no longer bound by pre-written destinies or eternal consequences. We are free to create our own values and live by our own code. And finally, passion. If this is the only life we have, we must live it to the fullest. We should seek not to live better, but to live more. We should embrace the intensity of the present moment, collecting experiences and sensations without worrying about eternity. This brings us to Sisyphus, the mythical Greek king condemned by the gods to an eternity of pointless labor. His punishment? To push a giant boulder up a mountain, only to watch it roll back down every single time. It's the perfect metaphor for an absurd life. But here's the brilliant twist. Camus says the myth is tragic only because Sisyphus is conscious of his fate. As he walks back down the mountain to retrieve the stone, he has a moment of clarity. He sees the full futility of his task. Yet, in that very moment of consciousness, he finds his victory. He has no hope, but he doesn't surrender to despair. By accepting his fate and scorning the gods who condemned him, he becomes master of his own suffering. Camus ends with an astonishing line. One must imagine Sisyphus happy. His happiness doesn't come from a future reward or a final goal. It comes from the struggle itself, the effort of pushing that rock, the defiance in his heart. That is enough to fill a man's life. His struggle itself is his triumph. The myth of Sisyphus doesn't give us a reason for life, but it gives us a way to live. It's a call to find joy not in a destination, but in the journey, even if that journey is an endless uphill battle.